Good evening. Welcome to our 6 o'clock Bible Challenge. Normally, we are back into the routine of being back at church at 6 o'clock, but being Father's Day, we told everybody we were not having a Sunday evening service. I encouraged everybody to visit with family. If you've got a father or you've got your children, you could visit with them. And we just now got home from, I was in Cumberland visiting with my dad, so I got here just in time to sit down and set the tripod up and have our program. We're looking at Ephesians chapter number 4. Ephesians 4 verses 14 and 15 is what we're going to look at. And they're talking about being a baby or being immature versus being mature. Being grown up versus a baby. No one likes to have someone, maybe you're complaining about something or something's upset you, and no one likes anyone to look at us at that point and say, quit being a baby. Oh, that can just set us off. I've noticed, though, I do, once in a while, I do a little sleight of hand. I do little tricks to fool the grandkids, and most of the time it doesn't take a whole lot to fool little kids, because they're not that experienced in life and just things in general. And I have a good time with them. Sleight of hand, I can make them think it's over here when I've got it in the other hand, and they think it's over here, and then I pull it from behind their ear and show it to them, and so they're amazed at all that. And we have a lot of fun with that. But when you're immature, when you're like a baby, when you're trying to figure the truth out, that's not so good. When you think of a baby's helpless. When they're really little, they can't really take care of themselves. They're ignorant. Ignorant means, it doesn't mean that you're dirty. That means that you don't have knowledge. You're ignorant. And little ones, they don't have any knowledge. And they have to be taught things. You have to even teach a little baby how to use a spoon, how to drink out of first you use a bottle, and then a sippy cup. And then maybe a little styrofoam cup. Or you don't hand them, a little baby, a great big tall glass. They'd pour it all over them and then drop the glass and break the glass and maybe cut themselves or cut somebody else, and it would be not their fault. They're just a baby. And so a baby is completely dependent. And everybody loves babies. Oh, let me hold the baby. But after a while, you expect that baby to grow up, to learn some things. One of the steps, at 10 years old, you're not a baby anymore. You should be potty trained long before 10. There's something wrong if you're not. And so, when we think about a baby, or how about a small boat? A small boat is blown around. Doesn't take a very big wave to knock a small boat around or capsize a small boat, turn it upside on its side, and cause it to sink, because it's a small boat. But if you get a big boat, if in a sense we're talking about maturing, being grown up, that big boat can dive through the normal waves. But when you're immature, when you're still small, it doesn't take much to knock you off course. And any wave is too large at that point. Or how about just a simple piece of paper? A loose piece of paper can blow in the wind and just go all over, and it could be torn in half. And it just a loose piece of paper has no strength. But when you put it with a whole big, it's solid with a whole big pack, and it's a pack of paper. That's a lot more than just a loose leaf of paper. Just one sheet of paper. Oh my goodness! If you had a big windstorm come through, well, who knows where that paper would be? Blown all over the place. And so the Bible speaks about learning to, the difference between being immature or a baby and being mature. Being mature means that you're able to speak, but you not just speak, but you speak truth. A little baby, at first they can't even speak, let alone speak truth. They just jabber. You don't know what they're saying. That's the way a little baby is. And then as you mature, you're supposed to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. When the baby's first learning, You take him by the hands, you hold his arms up, and he's walking along with you, tottering back and forth. If you let go of him, he's going to fall. And so spiritually, when you're a baby, we need someone to hold our hand and help us walk. But as you grow, as you mature, you can stand on your own 2 feet. Let's look at these 2 verses. It talks about that concept. Verse 14, the baby, the immature Christian says, that we henceforth be no more children. Don't be little kids, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men, the craftiness, the tricks of men, and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But, verse 15, is when you've grown up. But, speaking the truth in love, may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Christ. And so we've got to learn, we can't stay a baby. We've got to, when we're a new Christian, the Bible talks about desiring the sincere milk of the word, that we may grow thereby. And so, yes, when you're a new Christian, you need the milk. Like a baby, you need to just learn some basic things. And you should have a desire for that. But after you grow a while, you start to say, I want some table food. I want a piece of steak. I want something deeper. I want to study a little bit more. I just don't want to know the ABCs. I want to learn the whole alphabet. And I want to mature in Jesus Christ. I want to grow up in him unto good works. So, let's encourage one another. Let's read our Bibles. Let's allow God's word to speak to us and change our lives and who we are. Have a blessed evening.